Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum assalam.
What is the origin of the sound she as a command for silence?
Hmm. Oh, porcelains? I'm not quite following. Are we talking about the sound that porcelain makes when you tap it, or is that something else entirely?
Where is she commonly used across different countries?
Yes, sounds are used universally across all countries. It's how we communicate, experience the world around us, and understand alerts or warnings. Some specific sounds might have different meanings or cultural connotations in various places, but the core experience of hearing is the same everywhere.
How do children learn the meaning of she?
Are you asking how children learn the meaning of sheep?
Is she a universal sound for silence worldwide?
I'm not sure what you mean by is she, I yourself sound for silence worldwide. I'm having trouble understanding what you're asking. Could you try rephrasing that for me?
What
What did you want to say?
psychological effect does she have on people?
That's a tough one. Could you clarify who she is and what you mean by physical effects on the phone? I'm not following what kind of impact you're asking about.
How has the use of she evolved over time?
You mean how is the use of speech? Like the history of how humans developed and used language over time?
Are there alternative sound used for silence in other languages?
Are there alternative sounds used for experiencing other languages? Absolutely. Every language has its own unique set of sounds, some of which don't exist in English. So when someone's learning a new language, they have to train their ears and mouths to make completely new sounds. It's like learning a new instrument.
Where is she more effective than what's in some station?
I think you said, where is she more detective than what's in some situations? That's quite a question. Can you tell me a bit more about who she is and what kind of situations you're thinking about? Not following that completely.
How is she used in classrooms or additional settings?
I hear you asking about classroom settings and whether these skills are traditional. What exactly about them are you curious about when it comes to using sound in classrooms or more traditional settings?
What role does tone play when saying she?
Well, I think maybe you meant what role does John play instead of when selling sheep? Is there a specific John you have in mind?
Can she ever be considered rude or dis-
Mm,
disrespectful?
can she ever you meant there? Could you clarify which she you're asking about? Or maybe what kind of situation you're thinking of where someone might be considered rude or disrespectful?
How is she portrayed in movies and media?
Ah, you're asking about how sheep are portrayed in movies and media. That's an interesting topic. They can get a lot of different roles depending on the story. Sometimes they're harmless characters in children's stories like Shaun the Sheep or Babe, where they're cute and goofy. Other times they're symbolic, like in more serious films where they represent innocence or fragility. What movies or TV shows have you seen lately that made you think about how sheep are portrayed?
What body language often accompanies she?
Mm.
What
For body language, I'm not catching that clearly. Could you try saying that again?
Is she more commonly used by adults or
Is she
children?
more
Is she more
I
commonly
hear your
used
thing.
by adults or children?
I think you're asking which group uses she more, adults or children? But I'm not sure what she refers to here. What are we talking about specifically?
How do different countries
I'll do the
interpret
same.
the
Sounds like you're
sound she?
hmm. How do different countries interpret the sound chi? I'm not familiar with what sound you're referring to. What does chi sound like?
Can she be replaced by displays instead of sound?
I think you said, can she be replaced by this tree's speed of sound? Are you talking about sound waves traveling through a tree or something else related to nature? I'm not quite getting the connection here.
Where do people instinctively respond to she?
Where do people instinctively respond to, I'm getting sheep again. Are you asking about what makes people react to sheep, like their bleeding or presence, or maybe how we feel about sheep generally?
How does context change the meaning of she?
That's a good question. The meaning of she can definitely change depending on the context. For example, she could be referring to a person, like she is a teacher, or it could refer to a pet or even an idea. When we understand the whole conversation, we can figure out exactly who or what she refers to.
Is she used differently in public and private spaces?
I think you meant, is she used differently in public and private spaces? I'm not sure what she is referring to, though. Once you clarify that, I can talk about how it might change depending on whether someone's in public or private settings. What is the she you're asking about?
What are the skill beliefs
Well,
around
what
this
did you?
she?
Sorry, I'm really struggling to understand what you're saying. The transcription is pretty garbled here. Could you try a different phrase or focus on one part you want to talk about?
How does she function in ground communication?
Are you asking how sound functions in ground communication? Like how sound works for communicating underground, maybe through vibrations in the earth? Or is ground communication something else you had in mind?
Can she create tension or conflict?
What kind of she are you thinking about here? Sound can definitely create tension or conflict, like when music creates suspense in a movie, or how tone of voice can lead to misunderstandings in a conversation. If she refers to something else, that might have different ways of creating conflict.
What is the connection between she and authority?
I'm still lost. What does she represent in your question? Once you clarify that, I can talk about connections to teams or relationships.
How do animals respond to she sound, if at all?
Animals respond to the sounds sheep make, like the bleating or other vocalizations. Different animals will react differently. For example, a dog might get excited and want to chase a hunky and want to chase sheep, while predators might be interested in hunting them. Over even other livestock like cows and goats will hear sheep and likely respond in some way, like checking where the sound came from. Their reaction would change based on if they're being hunted by it.
How is she used in libraries or zonies.
I'm having trouble understanding. I think I caught something about ebrilis and huge zonies, but it's not clear to me. Could you say that again differently?